It was a journey from the age of 6. I was dreaming about my independence. All I wanted in my life was freedom. I didn't want to marry someone rich. I wanted to be the rich one. And when I say rich, I mean rich in abundance, rich in options, rich in financial success, rich in education, rich in global understanding. I wanted to have an abundance of everything that I dreamed of, and I've achieved it. I recognised I was different. As a child, coming out from Italy when I was barely 5, English was one of the most challenging things for me. All our, family spoke Italian at home, and there I was at school learning a new language. And from my primary to my secondary, comprehension was really one of the biggest challenges. In my primary, I repeated grade 4. In my secondary, grade 10, All Hallows didn't feel that I had the capacity to do grade 11 and grade 12. I failed my grade 10 junior English, and they said that I would never be able to make it to grade 12. And I looked at my teacher and said, that's what you think, but let me tell you what I think. And I immediately, once I failed my grade 10 junior English, I did night school at Kelvin Grove, and I passed it. As much as it was tough, it was also very transformational. And I got a job at Dalgettys Australia Limited, and I used to type manifestations. And there was a woman who obviously saw me more than what I saw myself. And she said, you can do more. And I thought, no one's ever told me that. And she said, come and work for my husband, who's an engineer at Evans Deakin. I left Dalgettys and I went to Evans Deakin. I lasted there 3 weeks and they terminated me. I bumbled my way from one job to another. And then for, 8 or 10 years as a legal secretary, I got fired from, day 1 to week 1 to, week 3 to month 1, or I think the longest I've ever stayed in a legal job was 2 years. So when I did start our business in 1979, I really felt it was like a vacation. And when I got fired from being a typing teacher at night and then my day job, I realised that I could start this myself. And I, found, which I didn't know, the Golden Square in Brisbane, which was right next door to Wallace Bishop's, and was paying $100 a week in rent. And I started Homemade Desk by my brother Joe Russo, who still lives spiritually in my life. And I had a brother-in-law, and I still have, who painted the little office college, grass matting on the floor, homemade desks. I was excited in life. You've got to keep believing in yourself. And when I started this little typing school, I was not ever going to give up. I made a decision that I would never go back as a legal secretary. So I had a dream that I was going to kickstart this business at all costs. And I used to work, I know this sounds crazy, but I used to work 17 hours a day, whether it was cleaning the office of the business college, whether it was preparing myself on a Saturday and Sunday to get myself ready for the students. I had part-time teachers, whatever. I was diligent in doing whatever I could in preparation of my classes on a Monday.
People think of international education as having been going on for many, many years, but actually it was a child of the 80s. International education was launched because of a change of government policy, and the government policy allowed full fee-paying international students to come to the country. Before that, you had to be on a scholarship. And that's a bit of a theme for Sarina's business. That was a policy change. The opportunity emerged. Sarina had no history in delivering English language, but we have a saying in the group, and I suppose it comes from those days, we make the impossible possible. And so it was launched and it was successful. But then we had Tiananmen Square, we had setbacks, and if you're not an organisation that is robust and resilient, there are a lot of organisations that went out of business. The 90s, we had the Asian economic crisis, where basically, Korea, all these Asian countries were in dire financial straits, and it had a huge impact on the international education market. We had the dot-com boom of the 2000s, we've had COVID. You have to be resilient and you have to be responsive. Sarina, her capacity to promote her own business, she was out there as the front face of the business, and so watching it go from a secretarial school and then take on the opportunity to become an international school was extraordinary.
When I first started our business, the Office Business Academy, I was the youngest entrepreneur in my industry. So I thought, how can I create a brand? And in those days, it wasn't a brand as I understood it at Harvard Business School. It was, how can I advertise, apart from the newspaper, what we're doing in our business college. So I started a jingle called How to Get That Job.
How to get that job. How to get that job.
And then that encouraged me, because it was so successful, that I could also apply that jingle to my TV show called How to Get That Job. And I did it for 23 years. They told me I would never make it as an anchor girl on my own TV show. And I said, well, who do I have to pay to teach me, to train me? And I did it.
Hi, welcome to How to Get That Job. Thank you for joining us today. It's great to be with you.
Well, I bought a high-rise building and I went to the top of the 13th floor and I looked over and I saw the dome of the City Hall and I thought, oh my God, I am overlooking the mayor of Brisbane, the Lord Mayor of Brisbane. I'll buy it. But one of the first things I wanted to do was name it Sarina Russo Centre. And I did that. Well, I think that if you want to be a leader, relationships, whether it's the community, your city, your state, nationally, globally, and you think global, but you work locally, it's critical, because we've also worked in the UK under Welfare to Work, and we worked in really tough areas like Coventry and Rugby and Lamington Spa, and we moved mountains in the Midlands. We got something like over 17,000 job seekers jobs. We've had some amazing success stories. It was the most extraordinary, 10 years of our lives from a global perspective.
I've just been so proud to be part of what this company does every day, which is change people's lives, takes them from where they are today and moves them into where they want to be in the future, whether it's through education, training or employment. And I just feel very proud to be part of that.
I started when there was only about 50 of us a long time ago. And, people have always said, Sarina, you can't do this, you can't do that. But she's been driven by a dream. And I really love seeing one of the dreams come to fruition, and that dream of setting up her own university and partnering with James Cook University, because education has been at the heart of what she has always done. And, she was fired so many times, and all that did was fire her up to just keep helping people. And people say when they meet Sarina, they just go, she's so authentic. It's just been amazing to see the different cultures that we touch. People with disabilities that have entered into our organisation, and they just show and they demonstrate to all of us anything is possible.
We're inspired by our people too. I think the work that they do on the front line, you can see the impact that it makes and how much they genuinely care about the customer, the client, the employer.
Our core value, energising people, enhancing lives, that is for our job seekers and our students and all the people we provide a service for, but it's also for our own staff as well. Energising our own staff and enhancing the lives of our staff is very, very important.
That responsibility, not just to fill Sarina's legacy, but it's also the responsibility of the hundreds of staff, the tens of thousands of people we serve every day, and to go, we just want to make a difference.
Sarina Russo is the brand. She's the migrant success story, the entrepreneur, the jobs queen. So there is big shoes to fill, but I think the way that she has set us up for success and the lessons that she's taught us, we're in a great position to continue that.
It's not just me, it's an incredible group that we've created who are dedicated, who are passionate, who love enhancing lives. And the cohorts that we have in the welfare to work space are disability, Indigenous, homelessness, drug addicts, migration, ex-prisoners, ex-offenders, mental health. I mean, what a gift, because I believe that everyone has a diamond within, and our job is to find that diamond and make sure that everyone has the same opportunity that I've had to go out there and create greatness within. We're here, and we're here to stay. And yes, I just want to say to every Queenslander, my goal for every Queenslander is to help you with a job and help you with an education. And if we can do both together, that is my journey for each one of you. So thank you.